or grow it. From the Stash Podcast.
Are you a grower? Are you tired of lugging around too many bottles? Is it too expensive? Is it so confusing? Tired of reading feed charts? Well, guess what? There is an easier way. Introducing the Stash Blend. You can now get your bag of Stash Blend premium additives that you can add to your garden using just about any base nutrients. Go to stashblend.com and get your order today.
This episode is brought to you by AC Infinity. The Ion Beam Kit is AC Infinity's full spectrum LED bar lighting. This kit includes a lighting controller, 4 LED grow light bars, and 4 steel bars that allow for flexible mounting on any part of the grow tent. Its unibody housing and aluminum board feature full-spectrum Samsung LM301H white LEDs. And the beauty of it is, you can integrate this with all of the AC Infinity products in your garden. And if for some reason you don't already have the Controller 6.9 Pro, well, this kit includes an innovative controller that features 4 brightness intensity levels and 4 daily timer settings. This LED is not only efficient, but very affordable, especially when using that discount code, TheStash15 at checkout.
Hey guys.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Man. Good to see you live from the Stash in Vegas. And we have a special guest today. What? Muffin B. Puffin.
Hey,
hello.
Best photographer in the game, man. She's made us look pretty multiple
award-winning photographer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome to the show. It's great to have you in the front end instead of just the back end.
Yes.
I know.
Everybody's going to be familiar with your name, but not familiar with who you are, because we always tag you in our pictures, but no one's ever seen who you are.
No, I don't. I'm never usually in front of the camera, so this is something new for me.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous, but
Well, we're so
Good.
glad you could make it,
Good thing
because
we
we've been
pre-toked.
Yes, we pre-toked, yes.
That
And
helps.
we've been working together for a couple of years now, and every time we get together, it's been absolutely amazing. You are more than an award-winning photographer. You're a great person. And if you don't mind letting the people know, who are you and what got you into filming or photography?
sure. My name is Muffin, as known as Muffin B. Puffin on Instagram. I got into photography in 2012. I was studying that, and then I got into the business in 2015. I didn't get into this side of photography until 2019. A big shout out to Jackie 420. I don't know if you guys know him, but he basically jump-started my career. His wife reached out to me and let me know he was looking for a local photographer. So I shot my shot, and here I am.
Wicked.
That's awesome. And there's been a handful of large content creators like him that you've shot, right? What are some of the
Yes.
names that you...
So obviously you guys, Hyatt's Flow, Queen Sin, Penwood Doe, as well as some companies here in Las Vegas. So AMA, Jenny's Dispensary, Pure Extracts, Hello Beyond, previously known as Apothecarium, and things like that, I would say.
Nice.
I can remember from the top of my head.
That's quite the pedigree. That's pretty good.
Thank
and then
you.
you're also working in the industry on the cultivation side of things too, right?
Yes. So I was in the inventory side of everything, but I just recently moved to the CBD side. So I'm an operations manager for a CBD company here in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And I've been doing it for, it's going to be a year now this month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Good for you. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
I'm slowly moving in. I'm trying to get into marketing, but that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, we were talking about that, how it's not easy in the industrial side of the space. The community's a little different. The
Yes.
industry is like, you got to break through. The talent isn't what's seen as much as more who you know and the opportunity and the timing. You know, and I feel like when you have the experience of what the community wants, it's easier to connect with the consumer versus just coming in and knowing photography. And I think that people who are running the show just are so disconnected. It's not an ill will thing or a negative shot at anybody. It's more the fact that they're just disconnected and not understanding, like, man, we need somebody who's that bridge to our consumer, to our customer,
Yes.
who can speak to them through creative. And I think being a photographer and knowing how to basically market and tell the story of what the product or the person is what's missing in a lot of the marketing in the space right now, heavily.
100%. I agree. I feel like a lot of the companies, they don't have that connection with their customers anymore. So it just feels like they're putting the product out just to push it out without connecting it to the actual people here that made this happen. That's why I do try to look for people in the industry that I can collab with or shoot with, just so that we can bring more culture into this rather than feeling everything is like CEO or by the books or things like that.
Yeah, too corporate. And I think that's the thing is they'll see something else. They'll use that as an example of what they liked. They're like, this looks like a winner. Look how successful this company is. They don't know the why. They just know the what, and they want to replicate it. And when you do that, you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just kind of continuously using the wheel. And I think the people who are doing that also aren't seeing that maybe the demographic and the target audience isn't the masses of consumers, not the masses of people who really care about the plant. Sometimes you got to be able to connect the dots in a way that's more organic, and that is directly, working with the people, being in the community, going to the events, consuming the product. That's one of the biggest ones that's missing in the industry. They'll be like, oh, people like it. This is a top seller. It's like, I can't do anything with these pigs. Like, it's an ugly brand. Like, what do you want me to do, man? Like, a lot of times they don't want to hear that. They're just like, just give me the good results. Do whatever you want, but I want it to be this. But whatever you think works, as long as it's this, and get it done in a week for as cheap as I could pay you. It's common from here, Michigan, California, clearly even Canada. Like, it's so crazy that we have this weird negative outlook of the community industry mix, and it just is unfortunately what it is. It's a stigma that it's because the powers that be, the decision makers, aren't letting those people already in their company bridge that gap. Like, dude, I'm here. We can do this. And they're like, yeah, but this creative agency has 14 years of magazine work, and they've done stuff with Victoria's Secret. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense for our brand.
Right, 100%. Translates perfectly to what we do.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They've done billboards before.
And this kind of actually, we were talking about this outside when we were blazing up a little bit, was that disconnect between what you're doing and what the client wants, and the client not having actually a clue as to what they really want. They just want what someone else is doing.
Yes.
And that
they want it to be different too.
They want it to be different.
They want it to be unique to us, but just like
different.
these guys.
Right.
Yes.
But totally unique in what you want to.
Yeah. I want you to put your spin on it, but I still want it to look like this.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
AKA, I just want it to get sales for me. And if it doesn't get sales, it's your fault.
Yes. If this doesn't translate to money, all right, I don't know what to tell you.
You suck at what you do. This is what it is. Yep.
You got to work on yourself.
Like, look how bad these photos. Look how this is all horrible. It's like, you loved it when we first did it. You loved it. But now, the sales didn't translate. It wasn't because your product sucked.
No.
It was because the pictures, of course.
100%.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating to not have that creative freedom.
Yes.
Because, man, when we have that ability to shine, we can really do amazing things.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of photo shoots that you do, but you do have that ability, right? A lot of these with us, you can just do whatever you know. Like, what I mean?
What should I do?
It's totally on your plate.
Where should I be?
But what is the balance? Do you get a lot of people that are really heavy upon what we just talked about, like they're real controlling, but want you to do what you want, versus actually letting you do what you want?
I'm very thankful that I've been able to work with clients and companies that have been more lenient to allowing me to do my vision and still taking their criticism and understanding, okay, this is what the company wants. This is what the brand needs. So I want to be able to translate that while still using my creativity. So I'm very thankful that, like, you guys and some of the companies that I have worked for allowed me to be who I am and just create, and allowed to use that for their sales and for their brand.
Yeah, they trust
Thankfully.
your creativity.
Yes.
That's why, like I was saying, everybody nowadays can use their phone for capturing a thing, but you hire a photographer, like your consultant, a creative, to do these things to capture the essence of what you're aiming for. You can't really get it, but this person, that's what they do, and I think that's where bringing a creative in is hard with the corporate side of things, because it's the result, it's the ROI, it's got to be measurable. Some things are brand awareness, some things are brand recognition. They're not necessarily directly measurable right away, but then they lead to the dollar down the road, unless it's a product shot. Things like that. Like, prime example, our product shots for Stash Blend to start, we didn't like at all. We were like, these suck, man. And
We showed you.
Yeah. I was like, oh, these.
I could do better than this.
It was it was just like like one of us did it or something. I was like, no, you can be honest. We had nothing to do with that. That wasn't us.
And I was like, can I take some photos for you guys? Just for the fun of it, if you guys want to use it, you can.
Those are a direct impact of can affect sales, and that's where I can see somebody wanting to do it. But when it's capturing a brand feeling, it's like, you got to be creative. Let me try some stuff. I mean, people change things up for holidays, for different seasons, for themes. Let me just play with some things, That's what a creative's hired for. I think in the space of herb, why would that not be number one? Creativity, excitement, uniqueness, like that's the biggest driving factor. Wouldn't you think?
I feel, especially because I don't know about you guys. I know when I smoke, I feel a lot more creative. I feel like my mind's opened up a lot more. So I feel like I'm able, even if I was scared at first, like I don't think I can do this shot. But as soon as I smoke, I'm like, oh wow, okay, I can do it. Even if I make the mistake, it's okay. I tried. At least I tried to do it.
Herbal confidence.
Yes.
Herbal confidence.
Yes.
I like that. That's going to be a shirt.
But it's
I like
just,
that.
it's one of those things where they go hand in hand. Creativity is just like with music. You'd think that would be the thing. The issue is when you look at business and these corporations who don't understand the culture. And I think that's the issue is if they really got the culture, they were really the figureheads of people who were there, they'd be like, do your thing. I get it. I trust it. That's kind of how we are. I'm like, hey, we trust the process. Like we saw your work. We're not going to direct you. You're going to direct us. You can tell us what to do with our hands because I'm awkward. And without that, I'm dirty nails.
Dirty nails gang.
I don't know what to do.
It's Blum Roll Gang.
Blum Roll Gang. Dirty
yeah.
shoes. Just I'm like, we had a photo shoot today. That's why we hire you. Is because I'm like, oh, she's got this. I literally let go of control. I don't even care if I feel like I look stupid. I'm like, head up, chin down. How do I? Okay, she's right, though. I can just do this. It blows my mind when I hear somebody giving pushback to a creative. It's like, dude, even if you don't see the vision, their mind is more intricate and creative and thinking outside the box than you are. That's literally why you hired them. That's the part that drives me the most bonkers.
That shift is going to happen when we see more people involved getting into this industry, not just staying gray market, not just working for friends, but doing it for corporate, doing it for your clients, because we don't need corporate running this. And that shift will happen the more we get more grassroots in there. I have to know though, before Muffin was Puffin, Lil Muffin, did you always want to be a photographer?
I actually wanted to be a filmmaker.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went into the Art Institute of Las Vegas originally to go in as filmmaking, and I took a photography class. I fell in love with that, and from then on, I couldn't put the camera down. I tried doing film. Shout out to Wink. You're amazing at what you do, because I can't. I don't have the patience to do that.
He's like, I don't even know. Like, he was like, I don't know what I'm over. I don't know what to do with my hands either. Oh, Wink's killing it though. I agree.
Yeah. It can be stressful. We're certainly glad that you found your way into photography.
Thank you.
So just photography, you're kind of not really doing the videography side of things. I got to ask for the equipment nerds, myself included. What are you using for a camera?
Yes. So I use a Nikon D3500, and I use a Ugon flash, external flash. I have newer lights, and then I'm on the process of getting like one of those spotlights. But I'm currently using a Nikon D3500 with a 50 mm lens.
Sweet.
Is that your go-to lens, prime lens, right?
Yes,
Not a zoom
50.
lens?
Yeah, I love the
50,
50 and 35.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, those
Okay.
two are my favorite. I say 50 for more like macro, and then 35 for more like portraits.
And why prime instead of zoom lenses? Is there any specific reason?
No.
I'm somewhat of a noob when
Baller
it comes to
zoom lenses
lenses.
are
I'm
so
just learning. I
expensive.
know the difference between those two, but I'm trying to figure out the reason why someone would use a prime over a zoom.
I think for me, I was just more comfortable with it because I've tried using zoom lenses, and I don't like having to work with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels too much for me. So I typically go for prime lenses.
Unless you get some really good shots too,
Yeah.
depth of field.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I love playing with, that depth of field. Especially macro shots, getting all the details. That's my favorite.
Nice.
And in Nikon, that's your go-to?
Yes. I have tried Canon before. I eventually want to try Sony, but that's on another end because we all know how expensive Sony is.
You're looking at the Panasonic crew.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Sonic, yep.
For
We
video.
were all Canon
for videos.
crews the
though.
last time we were here. No, the time before that.
We were all Canon.
We were all Canon. And then, like, we didn't really love what the production was. Like, yeah, it's all right.
And we all switched to the same model.
And then he had one baller one. I was like, wow.
I got the GH5 Luminex, Panasonic Luminex GH5, so that was good. And then They got GH6, and then
I
you
got the G85 because I thought he said H, but he said.
But they're all
I thought
very
he said
similar.
8, but he said H. And
They're all very similar to the Panasonic Luminex.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All amazing.
Like I feel like we can take a lot of credit for our work, but having the right equipment is
100%.
you know, I never want to stifle anybody from creation because smartphones are incredible today. And if you want to get into videography and photography, start with what you have with you. But my goodness, when you've got the right equipment, that's the difference between an amateur and a pro.
But see, I feel like that's where the creative, if you're not the creative, it's like the equipment is very important. But then if you're not the creative, like you have to lean on the equipment heavily. Otherwise, you can use some old gear even and knock it out of the park because you know the composition, you know lighting very well, you know the whole style.
And it could be a style of its own.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the creative to do that. Like I'm not super creative, so I can do what I know looks good. I'm not like, let me think of this random unique idea that's totally different. Like I already know what'll do decent, and that's how I can apply it. Versus someone who's creative, I'm like, come up with something. Like, let your brain go, you know? Unless I got some organis in me, I'm pretty much just like black and white, you know? I'm like the corporate guy who's hiring you, like, hey, let me use ChatGPT to convince you of what I'm using here.
That doesn't happen. No.
Nobody would ever use ChatGPT to describe what they want for a photographer's work. That would be ludicrous. Who would ever, you know?
AI generated.
Well, that's the thing a lot of people are worried about is with AI coming into place, even like creating fake images and stuff. You need a creative. The creative is what's so important to this. Is the idea. It's the creativity behind even a prompt to put into AI. You need somebody who's thinking outside the box and isn't so black and white and boring, you know?
And some of the, you know, I think AI, some people think is automatically negative. There's definitely some good uses
Creative
for AI.
could use creative.
Specifically
Exactly.
with photography. Do you use any AI tools?
I use it for like Photoshop. I recently got that.
Content-aware fill.
That's
You're
my
like, who's this
favorite.
dummy? Damn it.
I'll remove the people in the background.
Yep.
Perfect.
It's so easy, huh? It's just a couple clicks. And
Yes,
stuff. Yeah.
and you just type in what you need, and usually gives you like 3 to 4 options to scroll from, whatever you like, and then you just pick the best option.
Like elephant.
That's the power of
And
those
that's
tools.
so easy because back in the day you'd have to like click individually around each person like with your mouse and then cut out, you know.
And then try to
Don't do
fill
that
in that
anymore.
spot properly and have it not
Drag
like
it
Blend it
required.
in, make sure all the colors
It's very
look
time
right.
consuming to cut somebody out of a shot back then.
Yes.
And now with those tools, it just makes things so much easier.
That's where I think utilizing, again, but not being the creative, like it would just be the black and white of like, well, this is what needs to be here. You wouldn't have captured the initial moment that's worthy of saying, let's reshoot. Because otherwise, if it was black and white, who cares?
Yeah.
You're going to just reshoot you standing in front of the beach once as people walk by. But it's like, that was the moment. The clouds were right here. The sun came in. It was right on your face. It like you could see the emotion in what you were doing. That's what the creative brings. I think with our plant, there's so much emotion that comes to the nostalgia of something, the uniqueness of it, a flavor profile, that a lot of brands are just like, black background, flash on the buds, trichomes. And it's
Beautiful.
Like, yeah, and it's like, what? It just goes against everything unique about this plant. It goes against all the characteristic and the vibe and what makes it creative and cool. And more people are just wanting to follow that trend. They're like, hey, just do, Eric Nugshot's best in the game. We all have to be him. That's his style. Let him run with his style. There's other people who do similar things. Let them run with their style. I think when you bring a creative on, you're bringing them on for their style. Like we know we're going to get Muffin style content when we bring you in. I'm like, well, I don't even have to guess what it is. But we could do it at the Airbnb and somehow she'll capture the moment that's right. Like that's the difference.
I'm kind of curious too, as someone who's involved in this space, I know it's not always the most forgiving in many ways, whether it's from suppression, whether it's from stigma, whether it's just the difficulty to find opportunity. You mentioned how you got into this. How do you find it at all difficult working in this industry versus, say, doing weddings?
Yes and no, because it all depends on the clients. Because when it comes to weddings, a lot of brides are they know what they're looking for. Right. They know what they want.
My wife knew exactly what she wanted.
See?
Yeah.
And same thing with some clients when I've come across in this industry, they usually tell me what they're looking for. When it comes to difficulty on a scale, I would say Probably weddings are a little bit more difficult.
Right. I guess if
Yeah.
they didn't want you, they wouldn't call you.
Yeah.
Right. So if our industry didn't want photography, they wouldn't call you. So that
Exactly.
you wouldn't. Okay. That kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Weddings.
Probably more stressful doing a wedding versus doing other shots.
Yeah, because
You know,
with weddings,
It's a big day, right? It's
yeah,
like
you have to make sure you're
the
capturing all
stress
the
on
right
you,
moments.
yeah.
Oh, and it's a lot because at the same time, while you're trying to capture the bride and the groom, you have the guests who also want pictures and, oh, can you take a picture of me and my daughter and, me and my husband? And it's like, oh, it's also their day. So I also want to make sure that I get as many photos of them as well as the guests.
And those special moments are hard to recreate.
Yes. Oh,
Where it's like, okay, stop. Can you cry again? Dad, can you redo that? Yeah.
I'm going to need you to just get in. Yep.
Yeah.
Bring the emotions back.
Bring it back. Your cat ran over. Okay, bring it back. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that's tough. Whereas it's like nug shot. Okay, let's redo that again.
A consumption shot. It's like, all right, inhale.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Exhale.
how many blunts?
Okay, no, inhale again. Yeah.
How many blunts we always go through?
My God.
Oh my God.
By the time you leave, I'm just like,
We roll 6 and then we
Just
were
toasted.
short 6.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened. We didn't roll enough.
the wind is
No.
blowing.
And then you supplied us some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
here,
you,
get
do,
these
you,
pre-rolls.
do you have a sponsor that would do that? Like someone that would provide you with a product to kind of a product seed, if you will, or product seed.
Sometimes, currently, it's more or less of companies sending me items, and if I want to use it for a promo, I can, and then if it translates to sales, then we can discuss further. So I have like a few companies that send me items and just talk about it and see how I like it. So have something like that.
Good. Yeah. No, that's great. It's kind of one of the perks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, especially when it's consumption stuff. It's like, oh, free
Yes.
dupes.
Mhm.
Why not?
Yeah, because when we were in Vegas last time, 2 times ago, when we were downtown.
Playing
and-
hacky sack. Yeah,
Oh,
we
playing
did
hacky
our
sack.
mixtape covers. Yeah,
yes.
album
And then
covers.
you were giving us some like little the little shorties.
Yeah.
I
And
forgot what company.
Those were
I
like
can't remember.
kind of
They
like
were gold or
cheaters, but they were
something.
different. They were like
Yeah.
infused
Oh, blinkers.
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 Yes.
Oh, blinkers. I
They
know
were
that
little
is a pen.
minis.
Yeah.
Oh,
they,
okay.
they do pre-rolls too.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
They were the
company's
little
blinkers.
mini.
Yeah.
I got you. Yep.
Those were hitters though, and that's where like brands like that would benefit from the product seeding, where it's like, yo, you're a photographer, you work with influencers. Oh, make sure if you get some shots, they're hitting this unique thing that stands out. You could tell it's ours because it has the branding across the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see that heavily with brands like Jeter. I don't love the product, but the marketing is on point, and the capturing of the vibe they're going after, targeting young people out there in a vibe, having fun, festival goer, the young energy. Everything's bright colored, pops, relates to just like captivating moments where you're like, wow, look at that. And that's how when you hit a Jeter, you're like, wow, what the hell is that? You know, whether you like it or not, me personally, I don't. It's very unique. It's very experiential. And that's how their branding translates to that. That's how a good company should do stuff. Not saying they're good or bad, saying they're doing the image right to fit their product right. And it's like, okay, I see Jeter when I hit it and I see the branding, I'm like, that makes sense. Like a lot of times these brands are getting this creative in a box. And I think until you try their product and get intimate with what they have and really see who they are as people, it's hard to tell their story. So you're just doing what the market wants, and you're doing these things. When you have a product where someone's sending it to you, just like we do with AC Infinity or with any brands we work with, we use the stuff. So then when we're saying these things, it's genuine. When we're trying to do an advertisement, it fits what the consumer wants because we're the consumer.
Exactly.
You know? It's good that you actually consume the product that you promote. That's awesome.
Do you find you take more picture? Is it like more? What kind of pictures are you taking? Actually, is probably the better question.
I personally like a lot of smoke shots. They're my favorite with a lot of models. And I personally like product shots. So showcasing the product, what it's supposed to do, how it translates, even just allowing it to just be its own entity in the photo.
Product as in like, just so we're specific without being too specific, like flower or like the joint or
Any type
like
of product.
pipes? All of it.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Or
'Cause I
bags
like
of
to
Stash
use-
Blend.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
I like to try to tell a story with products. So that's why I personally like product shots, because I feel like I have a little bit more creativity with allowing to showcase what the brand is. With working with models and portraits and stuff like that, it's a little bit Like you have to make sure you know how the model's going to translate on photo.
Sure. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a little bit, doing product photos is a little bit more creative freedom for me personally.
Right.
You can get so like it can be so intricate.
Intricate?
Intricate.
Intricate.
Messed up that word. When it comes to product shots, I mean, some of these guys like Peter McKinnon, I don't know if you know,
dude.
some of these large content creators, what
Insane.
they're doing to set up these product shots is incredible. We're actually going to put some Stash Blend product shots that Muffin took on the screen right now.
Thank
so you
you,
can see
Jesse.
just freestyle, just so we were out at Airbnb and you were taking some of these shots. But
Dirty nails, too.
you can get like real in depth and have all these crazy things going on, smoke shots, like sand,
Shoes.
make things so crazy
Nice
with
shoes.
the product shots. You get like that creative and that in depth with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I love it. It's just, I feel like allowing myself to just open up and just play with the product, it allows me to translate it better in photos.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying is having the experience with these things. That's how else do you tell the story? Like, are you waiting? If the brand is really that good at knowing who they are and what they are, maybe they can send you that. But for the most part, you're looking at like, you have to get intimate with it. You have to figure this out. You got to spend time with the thing to understand it. If it's a person, sometimes it's a little harder because they may be putting up a wall or a facade of who they really are, ego blocker. When it's a product, that's you sitting there and like, all right, what are you about? What
It's no
is this?
coincidence that removing the human element kind
Yeah,
of makes
that
it a
variable.
little more, not enjoyable, but
Easy to express you.
Yes.
100% you. There's no other variable of outside influence. You know, that's the part that makes it hard to sometimes call these things a job because it's like, I love doing this stuff. But then the amount of hours that goes into it and you're like, damn,
still work.
you know, to really express what's in your mind, to have it translate, because capturing it, like you were showing us the photos right after and I was like, that's good. Send and post. It's done. You know, but then there's extra stuff you may be doing Lightroom
Adding
or another
more
place.
smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, little things,
light
highlighting near the face or something, like hiding fingernails, whatever. Little things like that make it so that's the extra layer of the creative. Then with the tools, you take the tools and you add to it. The storytelling of the plant, there's a few brands that do it really well. Like we were talking Eric Nugshots, he kills it. But there's not many people who are doing it for the corporate world, so to speak, that connect with someone like myself where I'm like, yeah, I want to give them my money. I would do that. Or like, man, I'm missing out on that product. They'll just put like a lemon next to their limoncello.
Yeah.
And that makes it like, ooh, it must be lemon.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's like something to just do more. And I think that you got to have the passion to go with the product. And if you don't, you're just going to turn and burn corporate. It's always going to be corporate, you know? So I love that when I see your stuff, I'm always like, ooh, was this a product, like this is something you did in your free time? Or was this like a paid gig? Because you could just tell the creativity's there no matter what. I'm like, that's what we're missing. The masses don't get yet, you know? We got it in Nevada.
Do you have that? Do you have like a that one shot, or do you have like that one job that you did that like set the bar that you're just super proud of?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to be very honest. The first time I shot with you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
I think it's because if you guys remember, obviously you guys remember, but we were on the rooftop of a parking lot and it was dark.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember
Yeah, we
I
were
only
stunting.
had, it was like
suits.
our suits.
Yeah.
And then we went into the hotel room after
Ghetto ass Rio.
and shot in there. So after I took those photos, I'm not going to lie, I went home and I was like, I'm so scared to upload these and see how they came out. I'm like, I don't know how.
Because it was dark. Like it was dark.
Yeah,
the
it
whole
was
place
dark.
was dark. It
For
was,
those that don't know, you kind of need
Rio?
light
Yes.
for photographs.
and the
and
Rio's
the-
just a dark place. Inside, the lighting's dingier. Like we had photos inside too, and they felt warm and they felt like when we were there. They
Yes.
felt like they capped. Plus, we were goofing off, and like you could see us genuinely laughing, and it was like our first time really together. You know, like the difference of that, of again capturing the moment where I'm like, whoa, this was really the feeling.
Yeah.
And I see the photos. I'm like, I remember that. I was sitting there taking a picture. I'm like, we look so dumb. I love it. You know, it was the moment. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah,
If that was yours.
That was
That's
a memory
cool.
for sure.
I think, I really enjoyed that shoot because you guys helped me. you guys really trusted me a lot in everything that I was doing for us doing the first shoot together.
You're
I was like, wow.
award-winning for
Chris got
Who
us
are
sold
we
right away.
to
He was
tell
like,
you
"Dude, she's
that's
legit."
really what it is. It would be the same way that when
'Cause we're
we work
creatives
with
too, in a
sponsors,
sense,
we
yeah.
work with companies, and I work with companies that are very rigid,
So
that have a
rigid.
very particular way that they want things. And even though I go over the top, if I don't meet one of those very small stipulations, it's not good enough.
Yep.
And that frustrates me because I'm going more than what you were expecting of me. But this is that corporate, if I'm not checking a box,
Corporate
it's
thugging.
not
Then it's not
enough.
good, yeah.
So yeah, it felt like a no-brainer. You are the
It'd be
award-winning
disrespectful.
photographer. Yeah.
It
We
literally is
needed
like,
the point. Let's be real. We needed the pointers on how to pose and when
for
to,
real
you know,
though. I didn't even know what to
like,
do
'cause-
at all.
Because you got to capture that one spot, that one exhale when the most smoke is there, and
I was gonna
the
zoom in
pose
the
is
whole thing.
right. If the pose is wrong on one of us, it just throws everything off in the picture. And yeah, so of course we're gonna let you do your thing and
I'm
tell
honored.
us what to do.
I'm honored that you feel
Yeah.
that way, that we were able to level each other's game. Because let me
Yes.
tell you,
That's what we
if you
do.
went back and felt like, wow, like I really stepped, that's exactly how we felt when we got those photos. Because that was our first time together in Vegas. That moment is totally captured in my heart forever. And those pictures will be there to remind me of that.
Oh, yeah.
And that has to be what it's all
That's
about.
when you had the Macho Man glasses and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how we spent so much money on sunglasses that week. What did you do to me that
I spent I bought yours, and then you paid me
And then
back
I had
later.
to
So I
pay
spent
you
about $700 on
Yeah,
sunglasses.
because I was like, "There's no way I'm going to spend this." We're
It
near
was
Shabbat.
$200 for mine. I bought two.
So we had to stunt. You helped us stunt because we were like, "Well, we got a photo shoot." He's like, "Yeah, you're right." I
You're
was like, I'm going to
right.
get these Oakleys that I don't need. You know,
My
Do you guys still have those sunglasses?
no,
Yes.
I don't. I lost mine on the airplane.
I got my
the way home.
mine, and I wore them the next year for the photos.
Yes.
And then my comments were like, "Pigeons wearing the same sunglasses." I was like, "You motherfuckers buy these things."
You
want to
buy it?
I was like, "Wow."
How many
So-
pairs of sunglasses do you have?
So now I have to admit, self-consciously, I level up my sunglasses and my shoes every visit.
yeah, he
so,
came with the riffraff.
Your
shirt.
shoes. You always come in with your shoes.
Yeah, thank you.
I got different shoes this time too. I felt really stupid. last time.
So I'm like, leave it, you commenters. Yeah, leveling us up. That's another thing, actually. Since we're talking about it, do you get much? I know as a creative, criticism is very important. You have to be able to take it. If you can't, you just won't survive. Because if you don't think you can't level your game up, then I think you're ignorant.
Ignorant.
Do you find that not criticism? Do you find you deal with? Because I know you post a lot of your stuff on social media. Do you deal with trolls, haters, negativity at all?
When I first started, yes. Mainly because I was posting more photos of me and like products. So it was more geared towards me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yep.
I got
get
that in a
shredded.
way, more or less. And when I started working with other influencers like you guys and stuff, it was more or less like, oh, you think you're that good that you can work with these people. Like,
And then you said,
Oh.
"Damn right I am."
You said, yeah,
but
clearly.
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like
They called me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just take the pictures. I'm sorry. But it was more like that. Like, oh, you think that you're better now. And it's like, I never said that.
Right.
Never.
Of
did.
course you. No,
Like,
of
clearly
course
you
not.
do if you bring it up,
Yeah,
motherfucker. Like, what are you even bringing it up for? You
Right.
know?
Like, I'm sorry.
There's a saying that I've said a couple of times this weekend, but I stand by. It's that you'll never be criticized by people doing more than you. You're only going to be brought down by those that are just struggling to achieve, or they're jealous, or So
Well, not if you're doing good. If you're doing right, that means the people say that you're gonna have haters if you're doing right. It's like, wow, damn, is that true? Like the more, and this, what sucks too is creativity and art is subjective. Somebody
Yes.
may not like something, but composition and quality, it's hard to argue. And you got that down. You might have another creative who's like, that's opinion. But there shouldn't ever, when it's direct at people, like I make videos for growers, for God's sakes. I know people talking about my gap. And then I'm like, why are you judging me?
Why are you looking at that?
dude.
I thought we were looking at my grow.
Stop bullying.
Quit picking on me.
Stop it. I'm telling my mom.
But it's one of those things where clearly you're doing something right if somebody's got negative to say and it's not negative about the actual work itself. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's why time and time again, whenever we have something going on, we're like, oh, no brainer who we're hitting up. Like it's our photographer. It's like our barber. Like I'll just not get a haircut then. Like we're not gonna get pictures then. We'll just wait until she's available. Like literally we've like moved around. We're like, well, it's not today. It's gonna be a different day. We're like, all right, let's clear out that time. This is all we're doing. Photos. And I'm like, all right, boys, I'm rolling blunts. Let's go.
It seems to us that your career's on fire. You're having a heck of a time, a lot of fun. I'm kind of curious where you see yourself in the future. Where do you want to take this hobby, craft, in, say, the next
Career.
5, 10 years? Yeah.
I eventually want to get out of the 9 to 5 and be able to translate this into a full business and work with other brands and continue to grow in that sort of manner and be able to still as well shoot weddings. I feel I recently got back into weddings. I actually stopped in 2018 and got back in 2023, so 5 years later. And going back into that, I feel like I'm able to do weddings and this kind of work. So eventually, I hope in 5 years, that's where I'm going to be, is weddings and doing this full time.
Well, I just happen to potentially be getting married this year. So
Potentially. What are you changing that up?
Well, we haven't set a date yet.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, because I made your
When
offer.
did you propose?
What? Last year. I didn't tell you.
Yep.
Was it on TMZ?
Tell me?
Yeah.
This boy's doing big things.
We need to
things.
do some
So we
save
need-
the date photos.
I know.
Big things. Big
And
things.
you got a baby, too?
I know.
Yeah, we
Baby
did. We
pictures?
did baby
Oh, yeah.
pictures.
Yeah,
we
we-
did baby
yeah,
pictures.
so I
She
got-
did 'em.
yeah,
She
the
did 'em.
That was the
holiday
one
card.
that I got.
The holiday.
Yeah,
card.
The holiday
Did you get one, too?
card.
Yeah, of course. It's so nice. I was like,
It's beautiful.
I sent
was
it
this
to them.
It's on my fridge.
yeah. I was like,
That was done by
Chris
her, but
fought
yeah.
for us to get one.
Sorry to cut you off, but wedding, I just wanted to say, maybe we'll talk after this.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh
I'll show
my
you what I've
gosh,
done.
would that not be awesome? Oh, I can't wait to have my
Yeah.
photo.
And
at
then have the
wedding
boys,
taken.
oh man, have us all together. And we do like a recreation of our first shot together
In the suits?
in the
Yes.
suits for a wedding. Oh,
Oh,
I
your
love
boy's
it.
getting a new suit.
probably not, but I'll rent one.
That's
that sounds
exciting.
good. Hell
That's
yeah.
cool. That's where you want to go. That's cool. That's really, really cool. What about like your website and social media? How do
Yeah,
people
where can we
find you?
find you?
Oh, so I have highclassimageslv.com. I really need to update my website, so sorry about
So
that.
Instagram then.
Instagram at muffinbepuffin or at highclassimages.
Yeah,
I'm not following high class images. I need to be.
I had to.
following
And I
high-class
kept
images.
tagging the wrong page. It was like higher end images, and then I'm like, and I had to go through and remove it. I know, and I was like, that's in like North Carolina, and it has nothing to do with weed. And then I was like, oh, because it was like clearly blacklisted by Instagram for a while, because I would type the whole thing in and I couldn't get it. I'm like,
Really?
and now after you tagged me in a few pictures, and it was like
Oh, here
collab
she
ones.
is.
Now it was always the top one, and I'm like, all right, boom, there we
Instagram's the
go.
worst.
Yeah. Do you get suppressed?
Hate Instagram.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stupid
It's,
question.
if you
Getting
did just
hit
all
all
wedding
the time.
photography, you're probably okay. But as soon as you start to put that magical plant in
That's
there,
why I have two different.
smart,
Yeah, because I'm
very
like,
smart.
hey, here's my portraits, here's my
Yeah,
weddings,
portfolio.
family, here it is. And oh, by the way, here are my higher photos.
Like, here's my after dark shot.
Exactly. Here's the after dark shots. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Muffin, thank you so much for coming on today. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm glad we could just sit and chill.
To get to know you more too,
Yes.
and like your career in the back end and how this came to be is awesome.
I got a feeling we're going to be growing together
Oh,
as,
100%.
as businesses and as friends for a long time.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Pretty
so
much see
much.
you every time we're
Thank
out here.
you.
Let's all knuck it.
Thank
Let's
you
knuck
guys
it.
for having me.
That's our trademark. We just do knuckles. You're like a bunch of dude bros.
Knuckles.
I love it.
Knuckles, dude.
Thank you guys. Make sure you're going to go follow Muffin Be Puffin on Instagram, highclassimages.com or highclassimageslv.com. Go check that out, guys. Huge shout out to Wink on the P's and Q's in the
Shout out
back.
to you, everybody on Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/fromthestash. Appreciate
Premium
you guys,
tier, we
man.
got you going across the screen
Premium
right
tiers,
now. If
baby,
you want
no
to be in the
crying.
premium tier, patreon.com/fromthestash.
Big shout out to our sponsors. Everybody helped make this happen, and you beautiful people. It's your boy Rob, Mr. Grow It, Pigeons 420, and Muffin out here. We smoking,
Thanks,
baby.
Muffin.
Of course.
Stay lifted.
Peace.